People often ask, what's the secret to turning my life around? And I tell them, the secret isn't out there in the world. It's right in the mirror, because the moment you decide to lead yourself, life starts opening doors you didn't even know existed. Success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. And becoming that person begins with one simple decision to take charge of your own life. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Most people wait for circumstances to improve before they improve themselves. But the truth is the opposite. Your circumstances follow your character. Your results follow your habits. And your success follows your leadership, your self-leadership. Start with the small things. Wake up a little earlier. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Learn a little more. Try a little harder. Because when you lead yourself in the small disciplines, life will trust you with the bigger opportunities. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. Don't wait for someone to push you. Push yourself. The moment you become the leader of your own life, success has no choice but to follow you. Mastering yourself before mastering success is one of the greatest truths you will ever learn. Everything you want in life, better opportunities, stronger relationships, financial freedom, peace of mind, begins with the person you choose to become. Most people spend their lives trying to control events, outcomes, and external situations, but the real power lies in gaining control over your own thoughts, habits, emotions, and decisions. When you master yourself, you automatically influence the direction of your life. Success is not something that responds to wishful thinking. It responds to personal discipline, clarity, and inner strength. Self-mastery begins with awareness. You cannot change what you do not understand. The moment you start observing your own patterns, where you are strong, where you procrastinate, where you sabotage yourself, you begin to reclaim power. Many people repeat the same mistakes year after year simply because they never pause to examine their choices. They blame circumstances instead of looking inward. But those who practice self-leadership take responsibility for everything in their control. They ask themselves daily, what can I improve? What can I learn? Who must I become to achieve what I want? These questions open the door to growth. Developing mastery also requires discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is keeping the promises you make to yourself. When you tell yourself you will wake up early and you do it, you build confidence. When you commit to reading for 10 minutes and follow through, you strengthen your identity. Every small act of discipline is a message to your subconscious mind that you can be trusted. With enough repetition, you build a foundation strong enough to carry bigger dreams. Success is never built on intensity. It is built on consistency. A person who has not mastered themselves will always be controlled by circumstance. If your moods control you, if your laziness controls you, if distraction controls you, then life will feel unpredictable and unstable. But when you discipline your mind, when you choose your responses carefully, when you refuse to be driven by impulses, you develop the inner stability that success requires. Leaders are not people who control others. They are people who control themselves so well that others naturally trust them. Self-mastery also means managing your emotions, not suppressing them, but understanding them. Fear, doubt, frustration, and impatience are part of every journey. People who fail are often those who react to these emotions instead of navigating through them. When you learn to sit with discomfort and continue moving toward your goals anyway, you become unstoppable. Emotional strength is one of the most powerful forms of leadership because it allows you to remain calm while others panic, focused when others quit, and committed when others get distracted. Another essential part of self-mastery is direction. You cannot lead yourself if you do not know where you are going. Clarity gives you power. When your goals are precise, your actions become meaningful. Many people drift through life because they never choose a destination. They wait for success to appear by accident. But those who lead themselves decide what they want, why they want it, and what they are willing to do daily to achieve it. When your direction becomes clear, decisions become easier and progress becomes natural. Ultimately, mastering yourself creates a magnetic effect. Opportunities begin to appear where they once didn't. People trust you because you trust yourself. You begin to achieve not through luck, but through character. Success follows those who rise above excuses, take full responsibility, and consistently work on becoming the best version of themselves. When you lead yourself first, success has no choice but to follow. Small personal changes have the power to transform your entire life. Many people wait for a dramatic event or a sudden stroke of luck to shift their circumstances, but real change rarely happens that way. Real transformation begins quietly, often in the smallest corners of your daily routine. It begins with decisions that seem almost invisible to others but shape your future in remarkable ways. Every major achievement is simply the accumulation of tiny choices repeated with purpose. Most individuals underestimate the value of small improvements because they seem too simple or too slow. They convince themselves that only massive action creates impact, so they ignore the small habits that build momentum. Yet consistency is the true engine of progress. Doing something small every day is more powerful than doing something big once in a while. A short workout repeated daily builds more strength than an exhausting workout done once a month. Reading a few pages each night creates more knowledge over time than attempting to read an entire book in one sitting. Small steps compound, and compounding turns effort into results. The reason small changes are so effective is that they reshape your identity. When you make a small promise to yourself and keep it, you prove to yourself that you can change. That proof becomes fuel. Soon you begin looking for more areas to improve, more habits to upgrade, more opportunities to grow. Personal transformation is rarely a sudden event. It is a gradual strengthening of belief. Each small step builds confidence. Confidence builds consistency. Consistency builds success. Many people struggle because they try to overhaul their entire life at once. They attempt to change everything in a single burst of motivation. That approach is rarely sustainable. Motivation alone cannot carry the weight of an entire lifestyle shift. Discipline grows slower, but it grows stronger. When you focus on small changes, you give discipline the time it needs to become part of who you are. You ease yourself into growth instead of forcing it. You give your mind and body a chance to adapt. Over time, these small habits become automatic, and once something becomes automatic, it becomes powerful. Small personal changes also help you stay present. When you take improvement one step at a time, you avoid overwhelming yourself with the distance between where you are and where you want to be. You stay focused on the day in front of you. You stop stressing about the entire journey and instead concentrate on the next right action. By doing this, you make progress feel natural rather than stressful. Momentum becomes easier to maintain and obstacles become easier to overcome. One of the most important elements of small changes is their ability to build trust with yourself. Many people are quick to keep promises they make to others, but slow to honor the promises they make privately. This destroys self-trust. When self-trust is damaged, progress becomes difficult because you no longer believe in your own follow-through. Small daily commitments repair that trust. When you show up for yourself in simple ways, you rebuild the belief that you can rely on your own word. Once that belief is strong, your ability to grow becomes unstoppable. Success in any area of life begins with personal responsibility. Small improvements remind you that you hold the power to shape your future. You are not waiting on circumstances. You are not waiting on motivation. You are not waiting on a perfect day. You become the kind of person who creates progress even in small moments. Over time, these moments accumulate into a life you once only imagined. Small personal changes create big life changes because they reshape who you are at your core. When you commit to improving just a little each day, you eventually look back and realize you have built something extraordinary. The big goals that once felt far away become natural outcomes of the person you have become. Through quiet, consistent effort, you transform your life from the inside out. Success follows the person you become, not the person you wish you were. Many people spend their lives chasing success like it is something running away from them. They move from one goal to another, from one plan to the next, hoping something will magically work. But success is not a running target. Success is a mirror. It reflects your character, your discipline, your values, and your habits. When you grow as a person, your results grow with you. When you become stronger on the inside, your life becomes stronger on the outside. The truth is that your achievements will never rise higher than your mindset. Your income will rarely exceed your level of personal development. Your relationships will not flourish beyond the maturity you bring to them. Your opportunities will always match your preparation. Everything in your life is shaped by the person you are becoming each day. This is why personal growth is not optional. It is essential. It is the foundation for every blessing and every breakthrough you hope to experience. People often look for shortcuts, but there is no shortcut around personal development. The level of success you desire requires a version of you that might not exist yet. This is not discouraging, it is empowering. It means you have the ability to grow into the kind of person who attracts the success you want. Growth is within your control. Hard work is within your control. Discipline, humility, and consistency are within your control. When you focus on these qualities, success begins to feel less like a chase and more like a natural consequence. Success is not simply about doing. It is about becoming. You become more patient so challenges don't break you as easily. You become more focused so distractions lose their power. You become more disciplined so quitting becomes less tempting. These internal shifts change the way you move through life. They change the quality of your decisions. They change how others see you. They change what you are capable of achieving. When you transform yourself, everything around you eventually aligns with that transformation. The most powerful part of this idea is that success begins from the inside. You do not have to wait for the world to recognize your potential. You do not have to wait for someone to give you permission. You do not have to wait for perfect timing or perfect conditions. You can begin the journey of becoming the best version of yourself today. Each day you choose growth, you set in motion a chain of events that eventually shape your destiny. Becoming the right person means developing qualities that success naturally gravitates toward. Responsibility, persistence, gratitude, integrity, confidence, creativity, emotional strength, and vision. When these traits strengthen within you, they begin guiding your actions and influencing your results. You stop chasing success because your energy, your character, and your work ethic begin to pull it toward you. People trust you more, opportunities open more easily. Solutions appear where problems once existed. It all begins with who you are becoming. The journey is not always easy. Growth requires discomfort. It requires letting go of old habits and outdated beliefs. It requires patience and a willingness to learn. But every challenge you overcome shapes you into someone wiser and stronger. Every difficult moment is a forming moment. Every failure teaches you how to rise with more purpose. With each lesson, you become the kind of person who can handle the success you desire. Success demands maturity. Growth creates it. In the end, success is not a mystery. It is simply the result of becoming fully capable of receiving what you have worked toward. When you invest in your own growth, when you build strength from within, when you become disciplined, focused, and committed, success has no choice but to follow. It becomes an extension of who you are. Success is never the result of luck or chance. It is the natural outcome of personal growth and intentional transformation. When you commit to becoming a stronger thinker, a wiser decision maker, a more disciplined individual, you place yourself on a path where success becomes inevitable. Every step you take toward improving your character becomes a step toward improving your future. Success follows those who build themselves from the inside out, who take responsibility for their growth, and who choose progress over excuses. The moment you decide to become the kind of person who embodies commitment, resilience, clarity, and purpose, you no longer have to chase success. It begins to seek you out. It recognizes the strength you've built and aligns itself with your efforts. Your life rises to match the person you become. So keep growing, keep learning, keep evolving. When you transform yourself, you transform your destiny. Success is simply the reward for becoming your best self.